Okay, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
This meeting is being live streamed. Welcome to this meeting of the Alcohol and Gambling Licensing Subcommittee to determine the aforementioned application. The first port of call is to appoint a chairman. So could I have a proposer for a chairman, please?
I propose Mike Warren as chairman.
And a seconder?
I'll second that.
Okay, in that case, Councillor Mike Warren is duly appointed chairman of this subcommittee hearing. Over to you, Councillor Warren.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. As just mentioned, I'll introduce myself as Councillor Mike Warren. I will be chairing the subcommittee hearing today. My colleagues, if I could ask them to introduce themselves, please, on the subcommittee. Brian Sargent, member for Sixfields, Northampton.
My name's Terry Guilford, member for Daventry West.
Thank you. Members, do you have any declarations of interest?
No, none for me.
No, none at all, Mike. Okay, thank you. Can I just ask everybody to introduce themselves, please? I'll go around my screen to the top. Richard.
Richard Woods, Democratic Service Officer for West Northamptonshire Council.
Michael.
Michael Sands, Licensing Enforcement Officer for West Northants Council.
James.
James Chadwick, Principal Lawyer at Legal Services and Legal Advisor to the hearing panel.
Okay, I've got Davina's iPad.
Yeah, Davina Jackson, resident of Parkway.
Thank you. Ralph, I've got.
Hi there, yeah, Ralph Major, and I'm the applicant for Parkway Coffee.
Okay, and I've got a David J.
That's David Jackson, in the same household as me, actually.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Are there any preliminary questions at all concerning today's hearing? No. Okay. Can I ask that, well, we'll just go through a little bit of housekeeping first. Could I just ask any mobiles that you have to turn to silent? And if you wish to, we've got a couple of members here that are actually in the offices at the council. Should the fire alarm go off, they're going to have to leave the hearing, so therefore we will have to adjourn the hearing if that is the case. But we're not expecting the fire alarm to go off, so that will be that. As there's so few of us actually on here, if you ask a question, if you could just raise your hand, and then I can see where we are with that. Okay. Can I ask, have all the parties received the procedures that we're going to go through today? Ralph?
Is that the report that was sent to me from Michael? Is that what I'm looking at?
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, all you know, the hearing papers and the procedures and that for today.
Yeah, all good.
Okay, and you're all happy with that?
Yeah.
I don't think I've received anything.
Were the papers sent out to the objectors, Michael?
Yeah, the link to the online publication was sent out to all people who had expressed an objection or a support. So it goes directly to the Democratic page with the copy of the agenda pack there.
Right. Okay. So they wouldn't have actually received the papers, but they would receive the link.
The link to the, yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Did you receive that?
No, sorry. I only received the link to the meeting.
It's worth noting, Chair, that the contents of the officer's report will be set out by the officer shortly.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. Right. I think we all now need to do is, Michael, could you read the report, please?
Thank you, Chair. So the licensing department received an application. It was for a new premises license in respect of Parkway Coffee, and the application was received on the 5th of October 2024. The premises is a coffee shop in a residential area situated in the Parkway in Western Favell, and it was seeking to permit the following licensable activities: the sale of alcohol for consumption on and off the premises, and recorded music indoors and outdoors. And just to clarify there, that any premises license with activities that are authorised have to be conducted within the site plan, which is attached as an appendix to this report. I just thought I would bring that out. The times requested varied between obviously 7 in the morning and 2100 hours in the evening. And a copy of the application form is also indexed at the back of this report. The premises supervisor was listed as Mr. Ralph Major, obviously, who is the applicant, and has now been issued a personal license since the application was submitted. Obviously, in line with the Licensing Act 2003, when a premises license is applied for, it triggers the need for the mandatory 28-day consultation period. So that's where the site notices are displayed and the newspaper advert is published. And during those 28 days, obviously, the idea is that it allows the public and any interested parties to submit comments. During those 28 days, we received 1 comment in support of the application and 6 objections. We did receive 2 or 3 other objections, but they weren't relevant under the Licensing Act because it was issues to do with parking, which obviously can't be considered because we can only use the matters pertaining to the Licensing Act when deeming whether they're valid or not. So because we received the 6 valid objections, which are indexed at the back of this report, obviously that's triggered the need under the Licensing Act to hold this hearing to seek approval, or obviously the other options available to the committee at the end of this report. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, do you have any questions of the licensing officer on the report?
No, none at all.
Okay. Mr. Major, do you have any questions of the licensing officer on the report?
No questions for the report, no.
Okay, thank you. We're going to hear from the presentations from Mr. Major, and any questions we will be able to ask after the presentation. To present your case, please.
Yes, so obviously when I was speaking to Michael and we got this report back, there's been some objections, and I'd just like to address those straight away because I just feel like I need to put people at ease in the community a bit. So I have prepared something, so if it's all right, I'll just read that out first.
Absolutely, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So I would like to address the concerns raised regarding our premises license application and outline our commitment to the responsible business operations. Regarding the music in the outdoor areas, I can appreciate that this was quite a general term, and I just wanted to reassure people that what we're talking about when we're talking about outdoor music is a very small sort of Bluetooth speaker that I'd be very surprised if any noise was heard outside of our immediate seating area, particularly in like neighbouring gardens and things like that. The music will be, barely audible beyond our immediate seating area. Regular sound checks will be conducted to ensure minimal impact on neighbouring properties, and we commit to immediately addressing any noise-related concerns raised by residents. Regarding the alcohol service and behaviour management, our alcohol licence application is primarily to complement our existing business model, which is a coffee shop, not a wine bar or anything like that. Usually also the closing period for the coffee shop, which is the outdoor seating area, is 4 p.m. on a daily basis. The reason for the extended hours to 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock throughout the week is just because the salon that the coffee shop is actually based inside is open till later on in the week, and so the license can basically cover that premises as well, which is in the plan. So it's the same premises basically. So we don't have to turn down people that are sitting there till 9 o'clock at night. The focus is on providing a relaxed environment for salon clients and occasional community events throughout the warmer months. that's sort of stating that maybe in the summer we might want to do an event that might be open a little bit later. We are not seeking to operate as a traditional bar or late night venue. Additional operational commitments, regular monitoring of outdoor areas during opening hours at all times, end of shifts checks to the surrounding area for any litter that may have blown into the road or anything like that. Staff training and responsible alcohol service and customer management, zero tolerance policy for disruptive behaviour, dedicated manager on site during all operating hours, clear signage requesting respect for all neighbours, and we'd like to open a regular communication channel to local residents for them to raise any concern. Our business centres on being a community-focused establishment, and I'm personally committed to maintaining the peaceful character of the area while providing a valuable service to our community. And we welcome any ongoing dialogue moving forward as well.
Thank you.
Cool.
Members, do you have any questions?
Now,
Jerry?
Yeah, just about employee training, what sort of records will you be keeping to ensure that everybody's up to speed with the current regulations?
So we'll be operating under the Challenge 25 process for the sale of alcohol. I'm currently the only personal license holder, but obviously I'm very much hoping that we can come to some agreement. But obviously, all being well, then I'd like to have another personal license holder on site as well. So it just gives us, so it means that a couple of our staff can then train others and just keep everybody up to speed on the current processes.
Okay, thanks.
Brian?
Hairdressers open on a Sunday?
No, the hairdressers isn't open on a Sunday, but the coffee shop is open on a Sunday, but only from at the minute it's only open from 8 until 1. So it's very unlikely we'll be doing anything.
You won't extend that. You won't extend that.
No, we might change it to be 9 until 1 o'clock instead, because at the minute, 8 o'clock is we've only been open 6 weeks basically, so we're still kind of getting the feel for when the busy periods are. But at the minute, very early on a Sunday isn't busy at all.
And are you closed on a Monday, which is usually the hairdresser's day off?
Yeah, so we're closed. We're closed in the salon. The salon's shut on a Monday and a Tuesday, but the coffee shop is open from 8 until 4 on both those days.
Yeah, thanks.
Mr. Chair, I don't know if I may. I apologise. I had difficulty accessing. My name is Peter Holstead. I'm a resident from Greenway, which is nearby. I've got a couple of questions. I've no doubt Ralph's sincerity. My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong here, is that the request is for the premises, not for the individual. And hence, should Ralph dispose of the premises to somebody else, they would take on the license, but and not have the same concern for the neighbours that Ralph clearly has. That's my first point. Second point is just looking at the hours that have been applied for. I don't quite understand why a license is needed from 10 o'clock in the morning, right the way through until 8 o'clock in the evening. And the hours seem excessive, both for the alcohol license and for the music. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Would you like to answer that, Ralph?
Yes. So the hours, for example, the reasoning for that is because even though the coffee shop, for example, does shut at 4 o'clock on most days, the salon that the coffee shop is essentially inside is open until 9 o'clock on a Thursday, and then we have been open later on a Friday as well. So it's not out of the question that we might open till 8 or 9 o'clock again in the future, but because we do sometimes change those days around depending on when the busy times are. But and we'd obviously like to be able to look after the clients of the salon if they do want to drink from the bar or something like that. However, the outdoor seating area will all be inside by the time that the coffee shop shuts. So you're not going to have people like sitting on the chairs, for example, after those hours. So it will be managed like that. I'm sorry, what was the other question again? Could you just remind me?
It was the length of time for both the alcohol and for the music. I don't quite see why the music needs to be available from 7:30 in the morning. I mean, what you're asking for is an potential for music outside from 7:30 in the morning. Now, I appreciate that's not your intention, but that is what the license application, my understanding of it, that's what it's for. And hence, when you have the astounding success of the business and move on to buy bigger premises, somebody else could come in there, take on the license, and not be nearly as considerate as you are.
Yeah. Okay. So the salon itself, that's my dad's business, and he's been in that premises since 2007. So we've essentially had it as a family for a very long period of time. We've got no intention of going anywhere. The only reason for sort of diversifying into this other business is because, truthfully, business is getting hard, and we've got to diversify if we're going to survive. So basically, we're just trying to run this alongside so that we can still be there and not have to leave, you know. And then the music, for example, I know it does say 7:30 on the application, because when I originally made it, the coffee shop was actually open from 7:30. Since then, we've moved it back to 8 o'clock. So nothing's actually open until 8 o'clock on any day now anyway. But I just want to reiterate as well that the sound level of the music, it's going to be, my idea of it was, like a very small Bluetooth speaker, literally just to create some ambient sound so that passers-by, when they're walking, it just makes the place look a bit more open and inviting. I'd be very surprised, and I think it very unlikely that any music level would be heard from even a neighbouring garden, outside the immediate outdoor seating vicinity, because we want people obviously to be able to sit down and have a conversation with each other.
Okay.
Would it be possible to have a license for music inside but not outside?
Well, we currently do have a license for music inside, which we pay. We pay the PRS license. It's for the hairdressing salon, but it's the same thing. So this is essentially just extending that a little bit further.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes.
I wondered if you could just expand on what you're defining as community events.
So our idea of that was, if, for example, this licensing hearing does go well, then we have, so at the minute we're serving locally roasted coffee, and we have a lady called Jane in the village who's a baker. She does a lot of weddings and things like that, so she makes all the cakes. It's heavily community based. So our dream would be to host maybe a summer evening with the Earls Barton winery or something like that, and have like a local winemaker, or the Blisworth winery, for example, come, and then you get local sort of merchants, to come and sort of collaborate and maybe do a wine and cheese evening or something like that. But I do want to stress that these will be very few and far between. And
would they require you to go later than 9 p.m. then? Is that what
no, we don't intend to open any later than 9 p.m. at any stage.
And the 10 a.m. start? I mean, do you have customers that are on the wine at 10 a.m. when they're having their haircut?
Well, at the moment, we don't have any customers on the wine. So,
good.
But no, I wouldn't anticipate to be selling wine from 10 a.m. I mean, that'd be a little bit crazy, wouldn't it? But
so why the application for that time? That's what I'm saying, really.
Well, it covers that. The application covers all the licensing activities, doesn't it? So, for example, if we did want to play music outside to encourage people to come and sit down and have a coffee, on their dog walk or something, then it means that we can play the music outside at that time. I mean,
Do they have to go hand in glove then? I'm sorry, I'm a bit ignorant of that. Do they have to both be at the same times, the music and the license, the alcohol license?
They can be individually conditioned.
Right, okay.
I wasn't sure either.
Yeah, sure. Okay. You're suggesting that you're opening at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So we can. Are you proposing to be selling alcohol at 8 o'clock in the morning as well?
I mean, no, that wasn't my intention to sell alcohol.
Okay. Okay. What sort of time would you consider to be a good time to start or wishing to offer alcohol in the morning?
I mean, if a change was proposed, for example, I mean, I would like the option to be able to sell it from, say, 11:30.
Okay. And you're now proposing to close at 9 o'clock in the evening.
So I believe I put from Thursday to Sunday it's 9 o'clock, and then from Monday to Wednesday it's 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So would the actual licensing times, would that be 11:30 every day, including Sunday as well?
Yes, I would have said so. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Fine. So we're looking at alcohol sales from 11:30 in the morning through to I believe, is it 8 o'clock on Sundays or is it 9 o'clock on Sundays?
On the application, I put 9.
Okay, 9. So okay, so we say 9 o'clock. And the music is, as you've already stated, is purely background music.
Yeah, purely ambient sort of sound, just to,
Yeah.
so walkers by can see that we're open.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I understand that. I don't have any other questions. Terry, do you have any?
No, everything's fine as far as from what I could see.
Brian?
None at all. No.
Okay, thank you. James, do you have any legal issues at all?
The only advice I'd give is to draw attention to paragraph 7.2.4 of the report, and this is about the issue of whether license is needed for recorded music and alcohol. So the position in law is that there wouldn't need to be a separate license to play recorded music on the premises, while if they're also licensed for the sale of alcohol, and between the times that the sale of alcohol is permitted. So if you were to approve the application for the hours that are applied for, then technically the playing of recorded music between the times that authorised for the sale of alcohol wouldn't necessarily be required. But if you were to change the hours that sale of alcohol is allowed, then you would need to explicitly authorise it for the playing of recorded music outside of those hours. So yeah, the two things are tied to a certain extent.
Okay, so would that mean that if we were minded to do that, we would need to put a condition in for the recorded music to be played earlier or later if required?
No, all you'd have to do is just say that, explicitly state that the playing of recorded music to take place between certain hours, which wouldn't be required if the recording music was to take place at exactly the same time, between the same hours as the sale of alcohol.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Sorry, this part of the law does get quite technical. That's and it's quite hard to break it down any more simpler than that. I'm afraid it's just the way that
Yeah,
legislation has been
I understand where we're coming from. We can discuss that when we retire to make our decision. So Mr. Major, we're looking at alcohol sales from 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Finishing at 9 o'clock. Now, are you closing at 9 o'clock or?
Yes, we'll be closing the door at 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay, so in fact, actually, you'll be cutting off your alcohol sales half an hour beforehand to allow drinking up.
I would imagine so. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Chair, sorry, the application is as listed on the in the report. I think it might be advisable to just take those as the hours applied for.
Okay.
Rather than I think stress this place isn't a pub or a nightclub. There's the drink. There's no proposal for a finishing up time or a drinking time. The application is the application.
Okay.
I think it might be easier to just deal with it on those terms.
With respect, if people are sitting outside and finishing at 9, they're not going to be disappearing at 9, are they? There is going to be a little period beyond that.
Well, leaving a premise, leaving a building isn't a licensable activity. The sale of alcohol and the playing of recorded music are licensable activities, and that's what this meeting is about, not when people leave buildings.
But it still has an impact on the residents.
It may well do, but that's not doesn't come within the purview of the
It's not covered. It's not covered part of
regime.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying then that the application and selling is till 9 p.m, not to 8:30.
The application is for the hours set out in the application. Sorry, Chair, it might be helpful to remind the actual application is for so Monday to Wednesday 07:30 to 8 o'clock, Thursday to Saturdays 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock, and Sundays 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So it's different. That the finishing hour, so to speak, is different on Monday to Wednesday than it is on Thursday to Sunday.
Right.
As proposed.
Yeah. That's correct. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Right. I don't think we have any more questions. We will retire now to make our decision. Our decision will be forwarded on to Mr. Major as soon as our legal team has signed it off, and myself. Any appeal to that decision, Mr. Major, you've got 21 days, and the information will be with that decision notice. So thank you all.